Welcome to the People Matters Tech HR Conference 2014, a conference presented by Cornerstone On Demand, IBM, Adrenaline, in association with PeopleStrong, ADP, Shine.com, SumTotal, BizBytes, Seba, Knowlescape, Video Recruit, and Kilo. Let's welcome our hosts for the day.
A very, very warm welcome to each one of you at the People Matters Tech HR Conference 2014. I'm Savita and I'll be your host for the day. I'll be helping you connect the dots as we go along from session to session. This conference has been designed to take HR at the center stage of the transformation of the workplace. This is the opportunity for the HR community to take up the lead in taking organizational effectiveness to the next level. We'd like to thank each one of you for this overwhelming response to this event, and we really look forward to your active participation through the day to make this a great success. To start the day, I'd like to call upon Esther Martinez, CEO and Editor-in-Chief, People Matters, to set the stage for the conference. Let's have a big round of applause for Esther. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. It's kind of encouraging to be on this side of stage, being the first person who's going to speak. Warm welcome to the first Tech HR Conference 2014. It's a privilege to be addressing you this morning. This is a conference that everybody in People Matters has been working towards for the last 1 year. So it's a very, very special day, and I'm very, very grateful that so many of you have joined us this morning. For the last 5 years, in the time we've been running People Matters, we've seen a tremendous transformation in the HR space, especially accelerated in the last 2 years. And really, when I speak to CEOs and I speak to business leaders, agility is probably the number one point that comes on top of business agenda. And really, when you look at agility, it really drills down to each one of us as employees and our teams. So we really believe that the best way to prepare the organization for the future is really to empower your employees to shape it. As simple as it sounds, the complexity is that there's a lot of transformation to be done for that to happen. We need to transform the organization structures. We need to transform the way we really define managerial effectiveness. We need to transform the way we take decisions. And we believe the CHRO is the one who should lead that transformation. The vision of Tech HR is to create this forum for the leaders in the business of HR to come together, to learn, to explore, and to understand and maximize the intersect of talent, business effectiveness, and technology. We really believe this is a turning point for the HR community in India, and that's really the spirit of Tech HR Conference. And we've tried to incorporate a lot of the principles that new age companies are actually leveraging to transform their organization. Tech HR Conference is social in many ways. It incorporates a transformative technology in its own DNA. Many of you have been participated in the #TechHR14 that's been happening on Twitter. Over 300 people for the last 2-3 months are engaged already. The event has already started way before on Twitter. TechHR is gamified. You will have a leaderboard. It's already happening. Every time you're connecting and exchanging information in your app, you're gaining points and there'll be prizes. We have a simulation in the evening again. Teams will be competing with each other. And we'll have a quiz as well at the unconference areas. TechHR is crowdsourced. Decision-making, collaboration, each one of us are contributors in this conference. The way we've organized our bistro sessions, everyone is a leader, everybody has something to say. Spotlight Awards, you will have a survey on your app as well. You can choose the most cool product that you think should win. And that's again at your fingertips. As you have noticed, we don't have a conference agenda. We don't have a conference brochure. All information is with you in your app, and all actions, everything that you need to do today is again in your app. The future has arrived. It is not yet evenly distributed. At Tech HR, our vision is to distribute the future equally for the HR community. Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together to welcome Rudy.
The world we live in today, the only way I can describe it in one word is dramatic. On one hand, we have an inferno taking place in the Middle East. Little skirmishes and wars beginning. We have out of West Africa a new strain of Ebola that is going to have a 90% death rate. And all this dramatic news that is coming out that's saying we're in trouble. But a little known fact that has emerged in the last 2 weeks has never hit the headlines. And that is between the years 2000 and 2012, on planet Earth, according to the United Nations, the global life expectancy moved up by 6 years. In a span of 12 years, we as humans have added 6 years to our lives. We're approaching the point of singularity, which is we will choose when we're going to die. For every year we live, we're going to get a life extension of 1 year. We're reaching a point of singularity where the bio brain is fusing with the machine brain. We're seeing it through the apps we're using today. It is only a matter of time. And this level of dramatic change that is taking place is accelerating. We learned the power of cooperation that made us bigger than who we are. So what is really happening in the workforce? We as human beings have become teeming masses of people and lost our individuality. And we will rebel against that. None of us, absolutely none of us, want to be treated in a segment other than a segment of one. I am who I am. So whether we're doing our employee engagement surveys or understanding learning practices, we box people and put them in buckets because it's easier to think about it that way. But it's a segment of one. And as HR professionals, if we allow the workforce to become dehumanized, we will kill the company we're working for. It's really that simple. I now welcomed the waves, even though they made me sick, knocked me off course, tired me out. But when I caught one of them, I felt a dramatic wave of joy and exhilaration. And so as I look in the future, the waves of change are coming. And my thoughts and prayers are, may you get the same joy and exhilaration from riding those waves that I did from riding the waves in Mombasa. Good luck, God bless.
All of you must have heard of the CEO Conference Board. It's an annual survey. It's called the CEO Challenge, which sort of speaks to 1,000 CEOs, presidents of companies all across the world. This year, there was something which was pretty unique. The number one challenge that the CEOs called out was consistently number one across the globe, and that rarely happens. Now, we've always said that at the core of business or at the heart of the business, are the people. So what's changed? I think what's changed is the level of urgency associated with that statement. That statement is becoming far too real. It's becoming one of the biggest sort of factors that stand between a company being either good or a company becoming great. I think the biggest leadership challenge today is how do you navigate through this chaos, through this change, and get your team to the desired end goal that you have in mind. But the fun doesn't stop there, because the desired end goal is a moving target. It keeps changing. The dynamics, the environment will ensure that it keeps moving, whether left, right, backwards, forwards, but it will keep moving. The biggest transition or transformation, actually, in my mind, is bringing about a balance between the science and the art of HR. The ability to predict, the predictive capabilities, the workforce optimization capabilities. We all know that this is useful, this is going to help our business, but still, we don't seem to be moving fast enough. And I think the question is why. Is it really real obstacles? Yes, there are issues. Whenever you talk people and you talk technology, there's security issues, there's privacy issues. You have all of that. You don't have to turn your HR professional into a data scientist. You can hire a data scientist or outsource it. But you need HR. The mindset change has to happen. It's your time. It's up to you whether you want to stand up and you want to own it. We definitely need you to. We definitely need you to. And if the only thing that's holding you back is the mindset, then I think it's worth changing it.
So the topic of my discussion is, how do we reinvent work, but at the same time get back to humanity? Are in the workforce today with 4 or 5 other generations, including the baby boomers, who are the folks who, along with the traditionalists will be retiring soon. The Gen Xers, who are kind of sitting in the middle and have several years left to increase their level of contribution to our organizations and have a lot of experience at this point. And the millennials, the ones that are going to impact us the most, because this set of expectations that they have of working in our organizations is completely different than the other three generations that we're primarily focused on. I live in Hong Kong, where there are 7.5 million people on an island about this big, and about 97% of the people on my way to work are on their mobile phone. And what's fascinating is they're not on their mobile phone talking to their boss or their wife. They're playing games and watching movies, walking down the street. We are simply addicted to technology. So, what's the result of that in our everyday lives? Well, there's information overload. 34% of people say very clearly that they have information overload. I am one of those 34%. Technology overload. They have too much technology. We need to make the applications that we use in our organization simplified, and they perform and behave and look and engage the employee like Google and Hotels.com and whatever else it is that we're using in our everyday life. Why? Because people won't use applications in your business if they don't perform and look like that. One, first and foremost, it should be engaging. It should look like the websites, the best designed websites that we have in our everyday life. It should enable people to find what they need when they need it, whether that be training or resources or materials or people. But I fundamentally believe that organizations that allow their employees the opportunity to give back to the community in which they work through volunteerism or otherwise is impacting engagement. Why not bring that into the talent management capability? Why not allow an employee to say, my organization has these 5 opportunities for me to contribute and volunteer and give back. And ultimately, I will leave you with, let's be more human. So thank you very much. I look forward to meeting you all over the course of the conference.
Got a lot of questions, and I have Savita looking at me saying that one question per panelist, and a lot of the questions that you have been asking, feel free to reach out to our panelists as well during the day. So I'm going to start with yourself, Devyani. The first question from Neeraj from Ericsson. It says, how do you plan for changing competencies and skills because of the change of technology? And I think, if I understand the question right, he's not referring to HR specifically. He's referring to the general overall requirements of the business. How do we keep up with the change of requirement in terms of competencies and skills?
Now, some of the things you have to think through is your organization ready? You have to think through how is your market changing, how are your users changing, and based on that, to stay relevant. The key word here is relevant, to stay relevant in that market.
Thank you. Thanks, Devyani. So relevance. So going back to Frank's question for you from Bhaskar from Blue Sky Learning. Very interesting. He says, how do you popularize talent management platforms, and how do you make it as addictive and as exciting as a Facebook could be?
And so what does that mean? Well, I believe it means platform. It means that all of the very relevant, similar, connected talent technologies should be on a single platform, which means you get seamless user experience. It means that there's no real distinction in how you get from learning to performance, or the fact that I can do a competency assessment, click a button, and automatically generate a development plan and have a meaningful discussion with my manager. So a lot of people think about how do you make it engaging and how do you allow it to help create culture change. The one thing they think about is UI. Let me just make it look better. And I would argue that that's only one part of it. And this is where the platform comes into play. The experience that the user has to be seamless. It has to be unified.
So last question, Rudy. So in your example, you talk about probably attitude to be more important than competency. What does it mean to us as HR leaders? Because your example of riding the wave is about that individual really going out there. So it's not so much about competency, it's more about attitude. What are your thoughts?
So I think we as human beings have a need to box things, right? So it's imperative that we put things in a box in order to understand and comprehend it. Today, I believe the box is no longer partitioned of competencies versus attributes, IQ versus EQ. It is a package. It's a holistic package. It is no longer can we think of it as our attempt to make sense, so we'll model it in a way to explain it to our bosses. We have to think about it the other way, which is what is the outcome we are looking for and what are the inputs that are necessary to drive that output. It's the right mix. And when you're making the perfect cake, you never debate on the exact ingredients, because the artist that bakes that cake sprinkles a little bit of judgment, a little bit of taste, and that's how the perfect cake is baked.
So I can't think of a better way to start Take HR conference. Let's give our panelists a big, big round of applause.
Thank you.